Hello? Hello, can you guys hear me? I'm sorry for the delay. Um, it's more of technical issues, but more of infrastructural issues. If you can hear me, let me go to the chat. Let me just know that you can hear me and you can see my screen, please. Hello, if you can hear me, can you just indicate in the chat box? I'm looking at the chat box, please. Thank you. I'm still waiting for confirmation just to show that you guys can hear me. 1 minute. Okay, I got confirmation you can hear me. So sorry about that delay. We'll still do for 1 hour from now. So I'll just go ahead and my screen is shared already. So I'll need to share my entire screen. So I'll stop this share and share my entire screen. 1 moment, please. Okay, I'm sharing my entire screen now. Okay, today we are going to look at introduction to JavaScript part 2. And the last class we looked at part 1 and we looked at the history. We got to the variables. So today we're just going to jump right in and start. 1 minute. Move this out of my way. So we looked at variables the last time, and we say variables are just containers that hold values. That's what they are literally, right? So, and we did some demo on that. So here I see a recap. We will have fruit equals orange. What this says is make a container called fruit and store orange inside it. Actually, what happens is in the memory, the computer memory, depending on it uses stack data structure for this. So first in, start, last in, first out. Yes, that's what it starts. The last one that goes in, the first one to come out. So we also have my norm equals 5. Now this is a concatenation of two numbers. My numbers normally in a variable, you don't put spaces in variables. So it uses what we call the camera. You start with small letter for the next word. You capitalize it. So we have my norm equals, if you see that 5 is in quotation mark, what that means is a string. And we have other norm equals 20. And you can do some arithmetic. So there's one thing about JavaScript. It's loosely typed. It's not very strict. It allows you to be more expressive. So let me just get back to our Chrome browser. And let's do that line. So for some reason, my machine's not just responding. For some reason, my machine is not responding. So let me go ahead and keep going. When it responds, here we go. All right. So I open Chrome. So to get to the console on Google Chrome, you can right-click anywhere on the body, as long as not on a link, right? Inspect. So today I try to zoom in on my screen so you can see more clearly. So I go to the console. Yeah. If you look at this little icon here, you can use it to clear up. So two ways, I can click this little clear console here. It will clear whatever is in the console already, or you use the clear function. So we're up. So let's take a look at that again. We say that fruit is equal to orange. Hit enter. You can see it returned orange for us. That's the return value. The one in a single quote is a return value. So anytime I call fruit, we get orange. Okay. I can say my norm equals 5. Now this is a string. You see, it still returned it with a single quote, telling us that it's a string. Look at orange here was in a single quote because it's a string. So even though this is like number 5, but the fact that we put it under double quote means it's a string. Let's say other num equals 5. Now this is a number. See, it returns 5. So even though JavaScript is loosely typed, it's not very strict. There are ways to find out, to check your numbers, to check the type of variable you have. So let's do some and say, fruit. What type of variable is fruit? Let's see. We'll use this command, type of. There's one thing with Chrome, or almost all the editor, all the editors you have, most of them, they suggest things to you as you type. So I just type O, and it brought out so many options for me. What I need is type of. I can hit enter. Oops. Yeah, type of. Then I put fruit. Let's see. Now it told us that fruit is a string. So let's check my num. Let me clear. Never mind. Type of my num. Again, it suggested my num because we declared the variable already. It has it in the memory, so I can just enter to accept that. You see, that my num is a string, and you know why, because we put it in quotes. Now let's see what other number is. Type of other num. Now this is a number, okay? It's a number. So it tells you about what type of variable it is. Even though it's loosely typed, it knows. We'll see along the line when we get to where it does coercion to be able to do some arithmetic. So let's go ahead and let me just go ahead and show this. I clear this for now. So my num, what was the value again for my num? My num is 25. So let's say, let me give other num another. Other num equals, let's say 20. Okay. Now let's add both of them and see what happens, the behavior. So I say other num plus my num. It gave us 205. Now this is confusing. My num is 5. Other num is 20. We added both and we got 205. So what it did here is to join both of them, because the one is a string, one is a number. As long as one is a string, it tried to treat both of them as strings because one of the inputs. So here it tried to coerce it to make sense, right? So we have my num is a string. I want to add a string to a number. What it did was to convert that number to a string. So if we add the two of them, then how did it add the R? Why is it 205? Well, what happens is what we call concatenation. It brings the first one and joins the other one to it. So it brought 20 and joined 5 to it and called it a string. That's why we have 205. It's not a number, it's a string. Let's do it the other way around and see. Let's say my num plus other num. You see, so my norm came first, that's 5. Other norm is 20, but because one of them is a string, it treated both of them as strings, so it joined them, okay? Then what if I have, let's say, another norm, and I call this actually, let's say 2. So if I do other norm, which is a number, plus another norm, which is also a number, we have 22. Now you see, other norm is a number. Another norm is a number, not string. So you did the actual addition. So 20 plus 2 is 22. Now we are seeing a case where plus is acting as an addition and also as a concatenation. It's called operator overloading. You might meet it somewhere along the line in your programming career. So when we say operator overloading, so you see plus is acting both as an addition and also as a concatenation string. And when you are writing, code, you have to be very careful because sometimes it can lead to a mistake. That's why you need to declare your types very well. If you don't know, you're running it and you're getting a wrong value, sometimes you have to look very closely here to see what's going wrong with it. Okay. So I looked at what the addition does. The plus sign can add, and so it can also concatenate. And we've seen how you can use type of to know what exactly, what type is the variable. So today we are going to study array. What we saw before, we just add a single variable into the container. So we make we declare a container, we add just one single variable to it, right? But for you to be able to use programming to solve all kinds of complex problems, you need to do more. And that led to array. So array is a container with sub-containers. So it stores multiple items under a single variable name. I made a diagram here. In that diagram, if you look here, it said let, I could say call it var. Okay, it's fine. So let's say var variable my array equals, so we put brackets, square brackets now, and we said 1, 2, 3, 4, orange, true, null. So these are values stored under a single variable name called my array. Remember, when we are declaring the other time, we just say my num equals just a single thing. We say fruit equals orange. It contains just one value, right? But in this case, we have multiple items stored under a single variable name. That's what we call an array. And arrays are what we call zero index. So the first item in an array is 0, index 0. The second one is index 1. The third one is index 2. So that's how it goes. You can see the arrow here, the array name is my array. And these are the values. And there's one thing about array in JavaScript. It can contain any kind of data, any type of value. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. They are numbers, right? Orange is it's not a number. It's a string. Then true will meet is called what we call Boolean, true or false, right? It's either true or either false, one of them. So yes or no. So that we call that the Boolean type. And we have the null, a null value where it's just null. It doesn't have any value assigned to it. It's not a number, it's not a string, it's not a Boolean, it's just null. So that's just a typical representation of what we call an array. And some important things here is that array has 0 index. It's important. When we want to access it, you see that when we call array 0, we are referring the first one, and like that. Even in the blockchain, the first block mined by Satoshi, the fourth block is called block 0. It's known as the Genesis block. It's also 0 index. In fact,
in most programming languages, the majority I know, talk of C, talk of Python, talk of Golang, they are all zero index. They all have zero index array. So be careful when you want to access a number in here. So creating an array in JavaScript, there are two methods to create an array. Again, I will say this. Don't worry, don't try to figure out why do we have to follow this syntax to create it. The guys that wrote, we already got the history, the guy that wrote this program, JavaScript, and other people that improved on it, they just decided if you want to create array, these are the steps you're gonna follow. So it's nothing, special about why it's like that. It's just a norm. It's a that's why we call it a language. If you move into another language, say C, for example, C has its own way, its own syntax of creating it. So each programming language have their own syntax. So don't worry that, hey, I can't figure this out. Just know that if you want to create an array, there are two ways you can do it. Number one, you can use the keyword new array. You can use this new array. So we say variable fruit equals new array. So those two words are important. The new and the array tells it, oh, you are trying to create an array. And when you do that, you can then put in brackets, in normal brackets, you can then put all the items separated by comma. That's what matters. All the items you separated by comma. So in this case, we have orange, mango, apple, right? And the second part, that's another way to declare. We've seen this before. I declared it already before. So say variable fruit equals, you use square bracket, then you list your item. The important thing is each item has to be separated. In this case, we use all strings. Remember, it can be number, it can be Boolean. If it's number, you don't have to put strings on it. For example, although fruits is not a number, so it makes sense that we only have strings here. But you could have an array that's a mixture of numbers, strings, Boolean, null, all of them. So these two statements here, they will produce the same result. It will create a container and a container called fruit and assign multiple items to them. In that case, we are having mango, apple, and apple. Orange, orange, mango, and apple. Okay. So let's go ahead and see this in action. So let's go back to our Chrome. So to clear this up, you see this little round thing here with, that line. You hit it and it clears up. If for any reason you don't see it, you type clear open and closing bracket. It's a function. It also does the same thing. So let's go ahead and say fruit equals. So let's take the first type, new. Now look again, let me go back a bit. One thing when we are using these code editors, they try to suggest to you so I type new here, you can see the new key came up. So that way it tells you, if you're typing something most time and it doesn't suggest what you're typing, you could say, am I making a mistake? Maybe you are typing something wrong. So new array. And if you are trying to remember how is this small letter A, or it shows you what it is. So new array. Then fruit here, we said orange. Put a comma on it. Pear, let's take pear. Put a comma on it. Mango. Put a comma. And let's have apple. And we close that. Now see what we hit enter. See what it returned. Orange, it returned an array of elements we just put into it. And it told us this 4 here telling us it is 4 elements. So the length, that's what we call length. The length is 4, right? But remember, it is 0 index. If I actually want to see apple, I will access it with index 3. So orange is index 0, pear is index 1, mango is index 2, and apple is index 3. But the length is 4 because there are 4 elements out there. So you can see we created an array. That tiny little box here. Look at the index. So I open that little arrow by the side. I give us, you see, index 0 is orange. Index 1 is pear, index 2 is mango, and index 3 is apple. And the length is 4 because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 elements. But when you're accessing the indices, remember it's 1 less what you wanted to take. Okay, so I close that. I don't need the prototype yet. So 1 minute. Okay, so let's try the second method. We say fruits 2, let me differentiate this from the other one, equals, we are not using the keyword new array now, we just put in square bracket. Let's see how this happens. So I'll start with watermelon, comma, grapes. I'll have to put that in quotes because it's a string. Grapes. Let's add orange on this too. Orange. And what common? Yeah, we could have, let's have apple there. Apple. And I close that. So when I hit enter, okay, so this is also an array. We didn't put the same thing actually. If I put the same value, it will give us the same value actually. But again, we open that up here. You see the indices. Index 0 is watermelon, blah, blah. So that's how you create an array. Each time you're in JavaScript and you want to you just put a square bracket and list them direct. Either way, we create an array for you. Okay. So again, in JavaScript, you can put anything into an array. I said that before. You can put anything, no matter the combination. So let's look at another way we can access arrays. So let me go ahead. Let's go ahead and create these new arrays. There's something interesting in this one. So I can actually copy this code I have here. Let me see. So I want to copy this. I copy this. Yeah, Control C. And though you have to be careful, sometimes when you do the copy, everything doesn't come out fine, but we will see. Okay, so I paste this here. So in this case, we call vehicles equals that, enter. Okay. Okay, so let me access vehicles. Again, vehicle is an array and it has 3 items. The length is 3, and we can see that. Now let's take the second one and see how it comes out. I copy the entire, not sure. Control C, let me try that. If it doesn't, we'll type it out. Okay. No, it didn't. So okay, Control C, I copied this one. can type out vehicle by itself. So let me clear the screen again. Clear. Done. So we say vehicles equals, I paste that there. Okay. Hit enter. Now look here, item 0 is innocent. So item 1, remember this is 0. Okay, let me open that. Let's call it up vehicles. So you see a difference now. You see, innocent is 0, the index 0, right? Now, the next item, you see, from this square bracket to this place, it's a single item. What determines an item is the comma. So once you put the first one, put a comma, it's an item, right? So from here, you can see that this square bracket contains 3 items and ended with a comma. So all 3 is 1 item. You know, is index 1. And look at that. Under index 0, we have only 1, innocent. Under index 1, see what we have. So we have another subscript, 0 for a Kenga, 1 for, these are different mix of innocent vehicle. They have the false, they have the Omo, and 0, 1, 2, that's how he named them. Look closely here. So here is 0, and the whole of this is index 1. But inside index 1, you have another subscript again, and it starts from 0, 1, 2. And here we have 2. So let's go ahead and access this. It makes more sense. I want to paste that again. Okay, let's close this. So we want to access vehicle. See how you can access an element. So I want to access 1. And then let's say 2. Now let's look at that together. 1 minute. So we want to access vehicle at index 1. And inside index 1, we have the subscript of index 2. So index 1 is this, the whole of Ikenga, false, Omo is index 1. Inside this index 1, we want to access the one that's index 2. Index 2, let's see, this Ikenga is 0, false is 1, Omo is 2. So let's see what happens when we hit this command. Just what we expected, it gives us Omo, right? Now, to access innocent alone, you can only be text 0, you cannot subscript it. Let me try to subscript innocent, for example. So if I want, let's say I want vehicle 0, and let's say 1. We'll see what happens here. It's not a number, it gives me n. You can see it's not, because innocent is just 0. It doesn't have any sub in it. It's just 1 item. So you cannot, so to access that, all you have to do is just call the 0 that it is. So if I say vehicles 0 here, sorry, vehicle 0, see, it gives me innocent. Let's go back, which is correct. Here, you have that innocent is index 0. The whole of this is index 2. Marcella is another brand name of car they make in Nigeria. I think Mitsubishi is behind it. Under there, you have Eclipse, you have Pajero, you have L200. These are some of the cars they produce. So let's say we want to take Corolla. Look at these items here. We want to access Corolla. Here is where Corolla is. How can we access Corolla? Let's think it through. We want this Corolla. I want their vehicle. I know their item is vehicle, but I want to access Corolla only. We can check. So let's count. The first one is innocent, which is 0. The whole of this is one single one. This is index 1. Marcella is index 2. Now, Eclipse, the whole of this Eclipse onto L200 is index 3. Toyota is index 4. So the next one is index 5. So first of all, we'll have to pick 5 before we go to the subscript. So in this case, we'll say vehicles. Oops, sorry, that's a wrong spelling. Vehicles. So first of all, we'll go to index 5. Okay, so index 5 is the whole of this from Camry, Corolla, Venza. So under it, Corolla is what? Let's see, Corolla, this is Camry is 0, Corolla is 1. So we come here, we put 1. See, it gave us Corolla. So it boils down to what I said earlier. All you need here is logic, not quite math, because logically is quite clear how you can access any of these. So you can practice more. I think I'll give you a link on W3 schools. Over there, there's a lot on this you can practice, to let those things sink down very well. So yeah, let me say this now. Because we are in the console, I don't need to do anything. The moment we type, it gives it to us. If you do a normal programming, you won't see the result like this. See, once we type vehicle, blah, 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 it gives us the result. Because we are in the console. The normal way to do it is to use if you want to show it to the screen, as we are not in console, is to use what we call console.log. Again, it just a console.log, let's say vehicles. I don't even know. Let me take anyone. Vehicle 3. I'm not sure if this is subscripted. Let's see. 3 is innocent is 1. This is 2. This is 3. No, it's not. So vehicle 3 is not subscripted. Console.log vehicle 3. Oh, it's subscripted. Yes. This is 0, 1, 2, 3. That's it. So index 3 have Eclipse, Pajero, and L2, and that's what it gave us here, right? So console.log, that's how you send something to the screen. Again, it's not, there's no way you arrived at this. No, it's just it's just a pattern. That's how you, if anytime you want to send something to the console, to the screen, use console.log. There's nothing special about it. Just the rule, follow that rule and you're fine. So what thing you'll be doing mostly here is you'll be learning some key, as you're working, you don't have to learn everything. There are things you use on your normal day-to-day programming. Those ones you have to learn. Even me right now, I mean, the last time I did Java, it's been a very long time. I don't work with Java real time. I use Python, I use other things. So even in this Java, I still have to look up certain things. Oh, this is how it's done. So it's fine. Just know that if you want to send something to the console, to the screen, you use console.log. We'll see that when we get to actual HTML pages. Okay. So that's about it there. So in array, we have what we call methods. A method is a behavior. So when we create classes, don't worry about the term again. When we create some blueprint, we wish to, a blueprint of doing anything, we call classes. We give them attributes. These attributes are usually methods. For example, we say push. Push is an attribute. So someone sat down and wrote a code. If you want to push, okay, you define what push is. Push means you want to add element to an array. Remember, the other time we saw array, we created those array from scratch. But in a real life programming, you want to add items to that. Let's say in a blockchain based stuff, you have addresses. You want to sign up a new person. That new person, you have to add that person's address into the list of addresses you have, right? So how do you do that? One way you can do is using the push command. So the push, what it does is to add an element into an array. What about pop? We'll demonstrate this in a bit. So what pop does is to remove the last element from an array and return it to you. So when you pop something, when you say pop, let me go back to this 1 minute. Let's go back to the console. Vehicles, let's see what are vehicles, what we have for vehicles. So in vehicles, we have innocent, we have one array that has 3 elements. We have Marcella, we have, so the last element here is another array that has 3. Let's see what that is. This is it. We have Eclipse, Pajero, blah, 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 right? Let's make it easier so it's not more ambiguous. Let's create a simple, yeah, we have fruits. Let me call up what we have in fruit before. We have something stored in fruit. Yeah, one thing with variable, why you need variable is that you can declare things and call them anytime in the future. So we have fruit and we have orange, pear, mango, and apple. The last element here is apple. So let's try a push first. So let's say fruits dot push. We want to push something. What do we push here? Let's push strawberry, for example. So I want to push strawberry into this. Okay. Now see our fruit. We have orange, pear, mango, and apple. So method, like I told you, is a behavior, you know, something, a way of doing, achieving any aim. You write it as a code on its own when you call the code. And how you access a method is dot. Remember, we already created fruit. We know fruit is an array. Yeah. So array has an attribute called push. That's what we're saying. Arrays have an attribute called push. And what it does is to add an element into what you have before. You add it at the last element in anything. So let's execute this and see what happens. It gave me error. Fruit is not defined. It's not defined as index 1.1. What type? Let's see type of fruit. What? It's type of fruits. Okay, I think what we have is, hold on. Fruits. Oh, we don't have fruit, sorry. What we have is fruit. So again, error message will tell you what it says fruit is not defined. It doesn't exist. And that's true because what we declared was fruit, not, I was using S. So it gives you, when you read your error, you know what's going on. Say it's not defined, means we haven't defined it. It's not. So what I'll do, but I define fruit. I then go back and say, mine doesn't have S. So let's call the right one now. So we want to push the fruit. So what we have is fruit dot push. Again, what was that again? Strawberry, yeah. Strawberry. Okay. No error this time. Now see, before we have the length is 4 here. Look at this place, the length is 4. After we pushed it, the length became 5. So let's call it up and see what we have in it. Fruit. There we go. See, we've added strawberry as the last element. So push, add. There are ways of adding element. You can add from the front, but there are ways of doing that, not with push. There's another method created. You have the shift method, right? You can use to put anywhere, but they are very costly. In programming, you will learn how to use the most efficient way to achieve anything. Okay. For example, if we want to put this strawberry before orange, we can do that. There's a method for that, but that method is very costly because of you understand that later. Here it's easy. When we say push, don't bother. We'll just go to the last place, put it. You're not shifting anything. You're not rearranging the memory. So go to the last one and put. So it's very, it's manageable. It makes your code more efficient when you're supposed to. Not every time you need a push though. But when you can use a push, always encourage to do that. So let's go out and pop the second one. We've seen what push can do. It adds something to an element. So in a real life situation, you're creating an app, right? Let's say a cooperative, this kind of something they do where people gather money every day, and then a certain month somebody is paid out. Okay, of course you start with 4 people, but along the line, you need a method that can add more people to that. So that your method might, I'm not saying it might use the push to be able to add as new people sign up for your for the app you develop. So you just call up that method and given the parameters you need, it go and push that new person into the list. Okay, let's try pop and see what pop does. So we go to fruits. We go back to fruits. Again, there's another method. We call that the pop method. Pop. Now, see, pop does not take any value. It makes sense. When we say push, you are trying to push an element. So push, the way they wrote it, you must supply what we call an argument. You must supply an argument to it. Stay here, we did fruit push. Within the brackets, we put strawberry. So we are putting strawberry into it, but we say pop. What it does is to remove the last element. So since all it does is remove elements, it does not accept any argument. You just call it without an argument. This is what we mean calling without an argument. There's nothing inside this bracket. We just have opening and closing. Why this opening and closing is important is to show that it's a function. Without it, it will not execute. Might throw error. So here we go. Let's pop and see. Now see what happened. It returns strawberry for us. And where is strawberry? Strawberry is the last element here, right? So what pop does is to remove it from the list and return it to you. Let's look at our fruit and see if it has changed. Fruit. Yeah, see this fruit that we don't have strawberry again. And why? We popped it out and returned it. So that's what it does. This was in stack memory. That's that's how it works when you are declaring variables and they're input in a stack. Once you leave that code, that block of code, it pops out whatever you have in there, and you have new variables again, the new place you are rather. So that's what happens with pop. It removes it and returns it to you. Not just removing it, it has to return it to you. So when you're writing a code and you pop something, you know that you're expecting a value, right? You grab that value and do what you want to do with it. I'm not sure. Yeah, peak. I know peak works in Python. Let me see. Fruits.peak. No, it doesn't have the peak method, but it's fine. In Python, peak just looks at what is the last element and tell you without removing it. But pop, what it does is it pulls it out and returns to you. Okay, let's look at another method that's involved in JavaScript. Is the splice. So splice returns a shallow copy of a portion of an array. What shallow copy means here is, you see what happened when we did pop. Pop went in and changed the value. So we have five elements before. When we did a pop, you remove one completely and change what we have, right? So in a splice just gives you what you need from any, you look at an array, you say, hey, I want between this and that. It gives you that value without changing the original array you have. So let's see that in practical terms. I go back to Chrome. So our fruit here has 4 elements in it. So let's say we want to collect pear and mango. And again, I mean, there's no mathematics to solve to find out how this happens. It's just a rule. Just follow the rule. It's simple. Just follow the rule. Hey, if you want to splice, see what you're going to do. So let's splice this. Let's say fruits dot splice. So of course, it has to take a value. So we want to splice from pear to mango. Again, so pear is, orange is 0, pear is 1. So I start from 1, comma. Okay, orange is 0, pear is 1, mango is 2, apple is 3. So I want only pear and mango. So I said slice from this up to apple, but don't take apple. So apple 0, 1, 2, 3. Apple is 3. I put 3 here. So look at that again. We say 1, comma 3. 1 is pear. It will start from that place and move to 2 and move to 3. But what it does, it won't return this 3 for you. It just whatever before the 3. So let's see how that works here. Oh, it gives us everything. Okay, so it takes 0, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's fine. So it gives you from 1 to 3. Yeah, I was thinking it's the other way around, but it's not. So again, like I say, programming, I mean, it's something when you're actually writing a program, you look up that area. That's why we say we're just going through the basics to show you how to use this. When you are actually doing a programming, you then, with your peers, you know, you look at, okay, how did they apply this method? You study that method and you put into your program and it works like charm. So that's it. Let's see what happened to the original data we have. So fruit, did it change? Let's see. Oh, so fruit changed. So splicing takes it off. Hold on 1 minute. Let me look this up in let's pull this down a bit. Splicing in JavaScript. Splice, JavaScript. Yeah, here is the W3 schools splice array. Okay. Splice method adds or removes array element, overrides the return. Again, so in JavaScript, the splice, it actually changes the original data you have. And we just saw that because when we ran it, it was contrary to what I was actually explaining. So the splice actually goes there and removes the element or overrides it. And here's the index, array.splice. You now put whatever you want, the index starting from here. Index, how many? Then item 1, item X. 1 minute. Oh. So the syntax, you put the index first. Here, the index is 2, 0, 1, 2. That's Apple, okay? At position 2, remove 2 items. Oh, I see. At position 2, remove 2 items. Okay. So again, it's good we're looking at this together. You see how each program has its own language, different from the other one. So what we did actually was, at this position, remove that. So at here, at position 2, remove 0, then lemon kiwi. This one is to add, I guess. Okay, so at position 2, 0, 1, 2, which is where we have apple. Okay, you then add, you remove 0, which is lemon, and add kiwi. Okay. So let's get back to our screen. Again, I have to clear this. But all this thing you're seeing here, because we opened the actual live web page, these are what's going on within. So if you're debugging sometimes, you come here, you can see what's happening in a web page. Okay, I clear this up. We come back to Splice, fruits rather. Okay, 1 minute, please. Okay, you see what happened now? We lost what we had before because we refreshed this page. All these variables were created, they're what we call, they are local variables. So the moment you refresh your web page, you lose all those things. They are not static, they are not constant, they are transient. So when I reloaded this, all those things went away. So we'll have to create a new one. 1 minute, please. So let's create fruit again. Equals. I'm using the shorter method. Orange. They are strings, so we must have to put them in double quotes, in quotes rather. Double quote, single quote, they do the same thing. For example, let's say mango in single quote. It still takes it anyway. And watermelon. Okay. So we got our fruit. So let's splice. Fruit.splice. So what it does is you tell it where to start and how many elements to remove. So let me look. Let's say we want to start from mango and remove one element. Mango is index what? Orange is 0, apple is 1, mango is 2. So if I say 2 and remove one element, right? Let's see. Okay. And what if we want to remove 2 elements? Let's push back mango. What do we have in fruit now? It removed mango. Okay. Let me push it back in. So fruit.push. We want to push back mango. Let's see. Yes, mango is back. So we want to, from, index 2 and remove 2 elements. So I'll have fruit.splice 2, 2. That's it. So if we look at fruit again, so see, before we did this splicing, we have 4 elements here. We now say splice from index number 2, remove 2 items. So it's 0, 1, index number 2 is watermelon. We say remove 2 items. You remove watermelon and mango and returned it to us. Now the original value is now only, and the original fruit now is only orange and apple. So why all these methods? They help you achieve certain aim. You want to split your data. You want to splice your data from somewhere. I give you an instance. When we were processing the application, we have about 93,000 data. Sending email was a lot of problems. So use Python, those Python programs, splice them at certain areas. So you can want to splice them into 10,000 each. You write the code and it splices them and give you 10,000 per page. So these are some of the things you can do. The idea to help you make your program more. So the other thing we have here is sort. So what sort does is to arrange things for you in ascending order. That's what it does. So let's go ahead and sort our fruit and see how it behaves. I want to put back this. Can someone tell me how we can put back this? Splice does it actually. Let me, this is the first time I'm actually trying to use Splice because I had to teach it in JavaScript. So let's look at the usage again. You will learn as we do now. That's how you learn. I mean, that's how it works in real life. So the Splice method adds or removes array elements. The method overrides the original array, and it tells us index, where you're starting, how many. If you just do this, it gives you, but if you now put item 1, blah, blah, it means you're adding. Okay, so that's how to add. Yeah, so let's see. The parameter index require the position to add or remove. Okay, how many is optional. Number of items to be removed is optional. If you don't want to remove, you put 0 there. I've seen 0 somewhere before. Then item 1, optional. Item X, new element to be added. Okay. So let's try it. Let's go and push back this orange and apple. So I'll say fruits.splice. We want to, our fruit for now is 0, 1. So we want to start from position 1 because that's what exists. Position 1, we are not removing anything, right? 0. But we are adding watermelon. No, we are adding, watermelon and mango. Okay. Let's see. No, that didn't work. Let's look at it again. At position 2, add 2 new items and remove 1 item. At position 2, remove 1. Okay, add 2 new items. Did I make a mistake here? At position 2, 0, 1, 2, which is where apple is. Let's see. 1 minute. I'll run this code. Anyway. Okay. Let's try that again. Oh, it actually works. Sorry, it worked. Yeah. So we fixed back watermelon and mango. Yeah, it worked actually. We told him at position 1, don't remove anything, that's 0, but add watermelon and mango. And it came to position 1 where his apple is. It added watermelon and mango. Yeah, it actually worked. So fine. And so that's it. The other method we can use to do it is to push. It's very simple. That one is simpler. So we could have said fruit.push watermelon, fruit.push mango. You have to do it twice. But with this Splice, you see how we went in and do it. But I'm sure it's a very expensive process because I have to ship apple and do that. But again, if the data you are working is not so large, yeah, you can afford to, use stuff like that to go on. So yes, it worked. Okay, let's move on. So length, let's look at the length. I mentioned this before. I say fruit dot length. So it gives us the length. The length is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But if you are trying to access them, remember it's 0, 1, 2, 3. So don't be confused with this. So if I want to get the last element, for example, the last element here, let's say you don't know how many it is. Assuming right now we know it's only 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, fine. But assuming it's a very long list, you don't know how long it is, right? So you won't know exactly what index to put, right? So, and I want the last element. One way you can do that is to say fruits dot length minus 1. Okay, it just did mathematics for me. Fruit dot length is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. But that's okay. No. So if I want to, what we just did was did math, because fruit dot length we already know it's 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. But that's not what I want. I want to get the last element. So you have to use your subscript to access it. Fruits, and now say fruits dot length, yes, fruit dot length minus 1. Let's see. Yeah. So fruit dot length is 4. 4 minus 1 is 3. We're saying get us the whatever it is anyway. Fruit dot length minus 1, which is 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, yes, that's the, you see the last element is apple, and it got it to us. Take a look at it again. We already know that the length, the actual index is 1 minus the length. So it's something you come across most of the time, even when you want to do a for loop for this into maybe length minus 1. So we are saying whatever length it is, if you subtract 1 from it, it gives us the index of the last element. And that's what we just did here. Rather than put, assuming you know, you just come here and put 3, but we don't know. So okay, length, fruit dot length minus 1, and it gave us apple here. Some of the logic you use every day in your coding. Okay, so there are many methods. I have a link here. Let me see. Okay, we've done all this already. We've done the pop and all that. So yes, I have a link here. Sure. So let's go to W3 Schools. It's a nice place to go. Let me say JavaScript method. Okay. The most authoritative place will be this, the Mozilla Foundation. It is the most authoritative place for anything, for most of the So yeah, 1 minute. Let's look at this W3 school method. Okay. So built-in method to uppercase. I mean, there are tons of them. You could actually come here and, look them up. JavaScript method. You can see with, yeah, it's a very handy place. So visit it from time to time when you're working. It helps you, get deeper understanding of what's going on behind the scene as you do your work. Okay. So we've done this practice. We've done a lot of it already. So working with code editor. Let's talk about code editor. Now, it's not very handy using JavaScript. Yeah, you can actually work on Chrome. It's quite easy because it's interactive. You do something, it gives you see the value immediately. Let's say you are creating, I don't know, anything. It could be linked list. As you are linking the list, you will see them linking with each other. So it's fun, it's fine to use. But other than that, you should have a normal place you go to do your work. And I said before, VS Code is very common. I know lots of people that use it in the industry. So I think I've been using it too, and it's been great, yeah? So the last time I talked about downloading and installing it, most of you did, because I saw some comments, questions, people that had issue trying to install their VS Code. So most of you did that already. So let's go ahead and just trying to use it and see how it works. Yeah. So we're going to use code editor to create files, create directives from what we call the Explorer. And we're going to look at what we call plugins. So most of this code editor, people write certain plugins that can make your life easier. So no matter the language you're working on, there are tons of plugins that you could install. It makes your life easier for you. So I have code editor already installed. I'm opening it. So if you open it initially, you always have this screen, this getting started. It's okay. I mean, I never really went through it. It always pops up, but I close it each time. So blank, close it, is gone. So wait a minute, that's not all. Okay. So over here, so you see this thing like a file. I collapsed it before. It's called the Explorer. So let me, if you click on it, it comes up. I click on it, it collapses. One easy way I do is you should have a place where you do your codes. For example, for this course, you should have a folder. We talked about one of the skills you have, how to create folders and how to create files, okay? So for me, I like coming from the command prompt, but I wouldn't use that with this class. So we use the normal way of doing this. So I can say file, open. Or no, you can create one. Okay. I don't know if this will show up in yours, but probably it might or it might not, depending on plugins you have. So I can open a folder from the existing one. You can clone a repository. So from here, you can just tell it the URL of the repo you want to create, and it clones it for you. But we want to open a folder. So for me, I already have a folder where for this course, so I can just go to open that folder directly. Under programming, let's see. Under programming, I have the NITDA blockchain scholarship, and I have this folder called JavaScript. Open. Okay, so here's my Explorer. I think I should just make something new. Yeah. Okay, I'll just create a new file altogether so we can follow. So what happens here, I remove this one. You can recreate it so you can follow. I'll delete. I have images already. Yeah, move to trash. Yeah, it's gone. So when you are making a web page, or the most common HTML, for instance, most of you went through HTML over the weekend. I saw lots of people that shared their screenshots. They were able to complete many assignments. They got good green here and there. So I assume HTML is something you are all conversant with right now. If you are not, you can still go through interneting is hard. If you go there, you see tons of resources, very easy to follow. HTML is not tough thing at all. It's usually how you enter into becoming a programmer is by doing the HTML and the CSS. So let me create a new one. So from Explorer here, how you can create one, you can see this plus sign is new file. This other one is new folder, okay? So I'm gonna create a new file. I click this, ask me what the name, new.html. The extension is important. Once you put your extension, if you understand what you are trying to do, I will give you suggestion concerning that, what you are doing. For instance, if I put .js, if you know it's a JavaScript, so it will evaluate my code based on JavaScript. If I put .c, you know, oh, it's a C programming language I'm doing. So it will bring in C syntax for me. So new.html. So I have a blank thing. And this is where code editors are good. See, I just put exclamation mark. And I hit the tab. Let's see what happens. It fills out the whole form for me. Let me take that again. I close this Explorer for now. I close it so we'll have enough space to look around. So I'll say undo, Control Z, undo. Nothing has happened. So I just created it and we're here. So normally you now have to start putting, head, HTML, so it's HTML5. I put the head and title and body. And if you did over the weekend, that's what you put it. With code editor, once I hit this exclamation mark and put the tab key, so it gives me doc type HTML. That's telling us, oh, this is HTML5. Language is English, is the most common one, or not necessarily, not that it's most common one. My machine is set up with the regional language setting for English. Assuming it was set up for French, it will put in, for French for me right away, and not the other way around. So, yeah. And then it put all this stuff for us. So that's how it does. I can now change the title. My first site on the site. Okay. So 1 minute, please. Okay. So there are things we can do from here now. If you're doing JavaScript, you have to put links here telling you that, yes, you are doing some JavaScript stuff. And how that happens is, so I come here towards the end of the body, that's where we put it most of the time. I put script. Okay. So this script just tells you that, hey, whatever inside here is not your regular HTML. It's a script I'm trying to do. And there are things we could do here. So let's say, before I type script, that's just it. Before we get to this point, I just want to show you how you use your code editor. And we've just done that. So we've saved the file already. I set my own up so that it will save my file every 1 minute. When I did it before, it was every couple of seconds, maybe 20 seconds, you save it. But at some point, you're still typing, it's trying to save it, it wasn't a good experience. So I set it to save, I think, every 1 minute or so. So if I've not clicked save, you save it automatically for me. And that's it. You see how it put everything we needed here. So let's see how you can create folder. When you are working with, you need to organize your files. Sometimes you might have a folder for all your CSS. You might have a directory for all your JavaScript. But there's one common one everybody has, is the image. So let's go ahead and create image. Here you see the folder icon with a plus. If I hit that, I can now say images. So now we have images, but it's empty. There's nothing inside it. So from Explorer here, you can create your files, you can create your images. I created this before, it's empty, style.css. This one will hold all my style sheets. If you did CSS, you should know what this is already. This is where all my styles will go. I created a simple text file, for JS. I call that .js, whatever. I mean, can be anything, you can use it for anything. So we just created a new file and added all the HTML thing automatically. And we have our image here. So that's how you can use your code editor to create folders and files. Okay, let's move on to the next. Okay, plugin. So if you're ever doing anything, you needed to install a plugin. Somebody tells you, hey, there's a simple way, there's a plugin that can help you for that. Let's see how you can do. Today, we are going to install Atom One Light theme. I'm not sure I have it before, but let me check. Atom One Light theme. So let's go back to this place. So now look at this gear icon. This gear icon, that's where you manage. It's from here you can install your plugin. So I'll click the gear icon. Extensions. So you look for extension. That's how you extend it. Extension. So what was the name again? One Light Atom. Now it gave me suggestion based on the codes I've been working on. But we want, is it Atom One Light? Yeah, Atom One Light, not the other way around. So you already know what I'm trying to get anyway. Let me just confirm that. We have, Atom One Light theme. Yeah, that's what I want to install. So it gave me so many suggestions. Atom One Light theme. Even though I put one light, it's, hey, this must be what you're looking for, not the other way around. And you see here, I have 817,000 downloads. That's one thing you look out for. Sometimes if you see, you want to install a plugin and you see similar plugins, you always look out for which one is more people have. I mean, it's been good for people to have downloaded so many times. You can see like the Dark Pro is 6.5 million people already. I'm using the Dark theme. I don't have any of these. I think I installed some other thing, but for you, if you want to do this, let me install it just so you see how it's installed. But the most popular one is the Dark Pro, 6.5 million. You can see that. Yeah. So it seems that most coders like the Dark. For me, I like it. Black on white. It's quite easy, quite simple. Not too much complication. So I click this. You can say install from here, but you can read more about it before you install. I didn't click this install here. If I click go install right away, but clicking on the body opens it up here for you. So you could see what this is about. It's a VS Code theme based on Atom's One Light theme. Best rated, blah, blah, blah. So this one gives you the white background. So for people that like the white background, yes, you can install this theme. Yeah. So it gives you the white background. So the next thing you hit install here, I'm not going to hit on mine, but once you hit this install, you give it time. It will install it. After I install it, will get activated, and yeah, you can now apply it and you have a white background upon that. I'm stuck with the dark one for now. Maybe if I want to change sometime, maybe experiment with things, I'll come back here and install this. So this is how you do extension, right? You can see the icon for extension here, extending it. Extension gives you what it means. It extends the capability of your code editor. What it cannot do before, when you install extension, you'll be able to do that. One common one is Markdown. See Markdown? Yeah. Okay, that's about it. So let's look at JavaScript operators. Yeah. 1 minute, please. Okay, let's look at operators in JavaScript. So some of the operators that we have the addition. We've seen that in action where we say it's overloaded. It does two things. It can concatenate, it can also add, depending on the scenario you have. We have the subtraction, is the normal what we know. Then we have the multiplication. That's the star. Star means multiply. And we have the division, we have the modulo. Let's quickly run through this in our Chrome extension. So I get back to Chrome. I'm sorry, I'm on Firefox. Okay. So we'll call this up. I want to clear up all these things here. Clear. All right. So, okay. My num, because we lost the other variable since we refreshed the page. My num equals 5. These are actual numbers. Other num equals, I'm using the camel case style. Let's say 2. So we're done. So for multiply, plus and minus are quite straightforward. So I can say my num star here is multiply, star other num. That's it. It gave us 10. So 2 times 5 is 10. Okay. Now let's do division. Let's say another num. Let's say another num is equal to 10. So I want to do another num divided by my num. Divide by my num. That's 2. Yeah, 5 divided by 2, and 10 divided by 5 is 2. But what if we say my num divided by other num? That's 5 divided by 2. Let's see what we get. My num divided by other num. Okay, 2.5. Yeah, that's what we should get. Okay. It's quite interesting because in JavaScript, like you say, it's loosely typed. If you're doing this in C language, for example, you'll get 2 and not 2.5 because it's strictly integer division. So when it's divided by integer, it discards the other part. But in JavaScript, yeah, I return 2.5 for us. That's interesting. Interesting for me to see, really. So let's do the modulo. What the modulo does is to return the remainder for you. Look at the sign again. Open this up for a while. Here, this percent sign. So when you use the percent sign as an operator, it's called the modulus. Actually, the modulus. So it returns the remainder after division. So whatever is remaining is what it returns to you. Let's see that in action. So I have, okay, let's do 2 and 5. 5 divided by 2. In that case, we have my num divided by other num. So I'll just call back what we did before, but instead of divide here, we use the modulo, which is the percent sign. See, we got 1. How did we get 1? Let's see again. 2 divided by, and 5 divided by 2 will give you 2, remainder 1. So it discards the mantissa. It just discards the, the integer part, yes, and returns whatever is remaining. So it gives us 1. And this is very interesting property. For example, when you're calculating dates and years, you know that 7 days in a week, right? So there's a way, whatever days divided by 7. If you do the modulo by 7, if you get 2, you know that, oh, it's 2 days from the first of the weeks. If your week starts from Sunday, for example, and you do your modulo, you get 2, you know you are talking about Sunday, you are talking about Monday, right? So it's a nice little tool, but I use it a lot in most of my work. Okay, I'll look at the other one. So Oh, I have that pre-duplicated. Okay, here we're going back to the console again. We'll look at Boolean in JavaScript. So Boolean just means true or false. It's two values, either truthy or falsy, and it's a very useful tool when you are doing programming. I look at that test I did, test.js file. It says if true, something happens here, else another thing happens. So if condition, you put a condition, if the condition is true, do something. If it's not true, do the other one. That's basically what it says. So let's go ahead. Let me go back to the console. Or rather, let's use VS Code. I close this tab. I think I've done some skeleton before. We could look at it together. Prior to that, let's, let me go back to the new. Let's add a script. Actually, I was adding a script before. So let's say, one, please. Okay. So variable hello equals, say, good morning. Okay. Remember, I told you, if you are not on the console and you want to send something to the screen, you have to use console.log. So I say console.log hello. Now see how hello comes up here because I've declared it as a variable. So it comes up here. If I just hit enter, it fills it up for me. Yeah, and again, we have to put our semicolon. In JavaScript, we are now inside the web page and we are doing some stuff. So what we did here, we declared a variable. We know what it is now, variable hello. And we stored a string in it. And the string says, good morning. And then hey, console.log hello. So let's save this, Control S, it's saved already. This is new.html, right? Yeah, so let's go back to, okay, we come back here. And I want to open that file. Open file. I'll go down to the location. Location here is, here is it, new.html. Open. We're not seeing it, so let's add something just so we can see something. Let's go back and add, let me put a header somewhere. So inside the body, put a H1 tag. You know what that means now, H1 tag. Let's say, a new web page. Yes, I saved that. So I have a H1 tag now. Let's refresh this and see. Yeah, this is a new web page. But we have something we're not seeing at all, the JavaScript part. Remember, we have to go to the console for that. So let's see how it works. Look at the console. We're already seeing something. Say good morning. Right? Yeah. Let me clear this. I just click this little icon. Everything is clear. If I refresh this page, so see, it logs good morning. Let's look at our code, what we told you to do. We said variable hello is good morning, console.log that. Let me edit it and say good morning to you. Yes. So if I hit refresh on that, so it's working. We're getting that. So let's go where we can use it with operators to make some decision. Back here, I think I already have a, not you. I have this set up. So anyway, let's type it together so we can follow. So I come back to new and can get rid of this for now. So I say variable red equals true. Let's say variable blue equals false. Okay. So if condition, if red, for example, if it's red, do something. Let's say console.log statement is true. Statement is correct, for example. Oh, I have to put this in quotes. Remember, I say string, we are logging. So statement is, yeah, okay, great. It's true. Let me close this so we can see my screen more. So if it's red, log this, else console.log in quotes again, statement is false. Okay, we're done. See what happened here. VS Code put this quote for me automatically. I said save, Control S. I missed out the semicolon. It went ahead and put it on. So that's one good thing with working with code editors. You know, some little mistake you do, it can pick it up for you and automatically. And it knew that we are doing JavaScript and you have to do this. So it fixed that automatically for us. So let's see what happened. We said that red is true. And we say if red, that's if true, log this. So let's go back to our console and see what happens. See, statement is true. Why was statement true? Because red is true. What if we change red to blue? Blue. Save that. Always save before you go to refresh. If you don't save it and you go to refresh, you still see the old value. Console is not defined. Uncut error. Oh, okay. I think I typed something wrong. Let's go back and take a look at the code. Oh, see that? So when something is not defined means maybe you are trying to do something and you type some other thing. So I didn't type this correctly. It has to be console. So I save this again and we go back and refresh that. Now statement is false. So this is the true false thing we saw before. Then let's see how it does comparison. So let's create more variables now. So before we were working from the console from Chrome, but now we are inside the VS Code. So I want to create another variable, my num equals, let's say 4. If I save this, it does the formatting automatically for me. prior to this time, it was there, but once I save it, it formatted it automatically for me. So I did variable other norm equals, let's say 6. Okay. So let's change the condition now. If my norm is equal to other norm. So this is the condition now. So what happens here, it just tests the condition. If the condition is true, it executes whatever statement you have. But if the condition is false, it does otherwise, right? So we are saying this equal to here is different from this. We see we have double equal to. What it's doing here is called comparison. So we want to compare these two values. Are they the same? That's what it does. So we could know 4 and 6 are not the same. So you have an idea what will happen. We say if this is equal to that, if they are equivalent, if this my norm is equivalent to other norm, log statement is true. If not, statement is false. So let's go and see what happens. I refresh this. We still get statement is false because it's not true, right? But what if I say if is not equal to? This is how you write not equal to. So if norm is not equal to that, now 4 is not equal to 6, which means this will become true. So that's how it evaluates. So we say if this is not equal to that, it will check. Are they not equal? They are not equal. So it's true. Now let's see what happens in our console when we go back. It's true. Statement is true. So what it actually does there is to evaluate. Now let's do something interesting. Let's bring in back string and see. Let's say variable another norm equals, let's call it 4, but it's a string this time, equals 4. Okay. So this time around, I want to check my norm and another norm. So I'll change it to another norm. So we want to compare 4 with this string 4, the number 4 and the string 4. Let's see what JavaScript thinks. It says statement is false. And that's surprising to me. Yeah, it's false, we know, but I mean, it usually do casting. And why didn't it cast this one? Let's see. Oh, no, sorry. I know why I gave up. We want to check if they are equal, not equal. All right. So we want to say, is my norm equal to another norm? My norm is number 4. Why another one is string 4. And this is the behavior I want us to see. Let's see what JavaScript thinks here. It told us that it is true. So what's going on here? We know that number 4 and 4, they're not the same actually, because one is a number, one is a string. So what JavaScript tries to do here, because we have this as a string, it will cast this other one as a string also and compare the two of them. And assuming this one is a string, of course they are. And you have to be careful when you're writing code. Sometimes you might have something like this, you'll be getting error, the wrong answer, the wrong output. You want to check customer details, maybe order or something like that. It could be anything, and you're getting the wrong output. You have to pay attention whether you're having this kind of issue. But JavaScript knows about this. That's why they brought in another form called the strict. You want to compare that they must be the same. And that brought in the triple quotes. So instead of having 2 equals to, we have triple equals to Control S. So when you are using the strict method, you have to be sure that they must be the same. They must be the same data type and they correspond for them to be the same, not just casting it by itself without you knowing that you have casted it. So let's see what happens now that we have triple equal sign. I go back here and refresh the page. It's false, and that's what we expect. So I would advise you in your code, when you're doing comparison, always use 3 equal sign. Same thing with not. Here you put not equal to, and 2 double. If you leave only 1, is the loose type. So use these 3 of those operators together. We call it the strict type. So yeah. And what does JavaScript think about numbers? Let's see. Okay. Remember let me introduce something here. Let's say green, variable green. But see green, there's no value. It's undefined. I didn't assign anything to it. It's just there. If green, let's see what happens. If green do this, what will green, translate to? Will it be true? Will it be false or some other thing? Let's see. We say if green, say it's true. If it's not green, say it's false. So let's see what happens here. It's false. So because green here is undefined, anything undefined is false. Another thing that is false is 0. If 0, for example, control. No, yeah. Let's use my num, but I want to change my num to 0. Control S. So my num is 0. If 0, let's see what will happen. This if it's true, then it tells us. If it's false, it tells us the other way around. So here, 0 is false. So 0 and undefined, we can see they translate to false. Other than 0, any other number is true. So if you put, let's say my num here is, let's say 20, Control S. Anything that is a number always evaluates to true every time. If that is a number actually other than 0, it translates to true. Let's see. Yeah, it's true. What about a negative number? Let's say minus 20. Let's see what it translates to. It's minus 20. It's true. So anything number is true, whether it's negative or positive, except 0. Once it's 0, it's negative. Or if it's undefined, it's negative. Other than that, once you can translate that into a number, then it's true value. You will find this very handy when you're making loops and trying to test different conditions. Just say, if this condition happens, continue and do the other one. So basically, that's it about operators in JavaScript. So where I've defined it, when it's false, when it's 0 is false, when it's null is false, and when it's undefined is false. Other than these cases, it will always evaluate to true with any other number you have there, right? And we've done something like this already. Try to evaluate all these values here. So I think we stop here for today. I was thinking we'll wrap up this course today. We started late. So from the schedule we have, we'll be looking at another topic, not JavaScript. We're supposed to go into Golang. Maybe we'll go ahead and introduce the Golang and still make out time to come back and finish part 3 of JavaScript. It's not in-depth, it's not everything you need to know, but it's just the basics, like all this I'm explaining. Those are things you will encounter while you are working. And when you do, you remember. You could see even me here, like when I was doing the splice thing, I thought it was another thing. But when I ran it, I found out, oh, it was that. And immediately we looked at the description, how it is used, and we're able to use it and implement it immediately to, push back multiple data into it. So that's how it works. That's how programming is. That's why it's one of the skills you have. You need to be patient, right? You might be just doing something very wrong, and you think, why is it not working? So let me take a look if there are some questions. Few one I could just take. Before I see the question, let me say this also. Some of you already have finished your coursework in fifth work. Well, what we found out that there are some people that probably they didn't see the email about the logging on to the fifth work. So some say it was in there, they're just seeing it for the first time. So I know somebody that started this course yesterday on fifth work, right? Just yesterday started the course for the first time. So I think there are other people like them. Maybe for some reason you couldn't start when others started. So if you check the course portal, you see that it extended to end of December already. So this is just for the people that joined us, started their own course now to be able to complete and cope with. We want as much people as possible to go into phase 2 of this. So that's why we're giving all these perks here and there, just so you could. So if you haven't done your work, you have not finished, you think you are losing time or you are not meeting up, relax. Just calm down and start from wherever you are now and try to finish your course. So all the assessments are locked. So the way fifth work works at fifth work, because why it was on the main BSV, I know as you do, you get your assessment, but the way it's set up on fifth work is that they locked all the assessments. Assessment will be unlocked 5 days to the end of the course. So from 25th, let's say 26th, from 26th and above or so, you should be able to go back and do your assessment. For people that are already finished, it must be unlocked. So when you do your assessment, you see your progress and all those things you are looking for, they will all show up. Yeah, that's it. And again, we want to find out, I've asked them to send us a list of people that haven't logged on before. If we get that list, we'll try to send a reminder to them. Since we extended the deadline for finishing, archiving the course, so that they can come in and finish with others. Again, for this JavaScript, there are tons of resources out there. It's a skill you need to have to go to phase 2. So I'm just taking time to do these small things, right? And with just this, I think you'll be fine if you go and read them in depth, know how to handle stuff. So we still have loops, we'll do loops. And yeah, a couple more things. One more class will wrap up everything about JavaScript. Yeah, let me see the questions we have. If there are some, I can answer. Okay, I don't seem to have much questions. Yeah. So other than that, guys, please just relax and take your courses. Always visit the main Telegram group. Like I said before, some people set up other groups. I don't know why. And some people are joining them. Your official Telegram group, it has 37,000 members. That's where you should be. That's where you should get all your instructions from. Every day, every morning, if there's something that has to happen, it has to be in that, please. If you not join the Telegram group, it's NITDA Blockchain Scholarship. NITDA Blockchain Scholarship. That's the name on Telegram. But make sure it has 37,000 members, 37,000 plus members. Once it has that, you're fine. And from there, you can get any information we are passing through. I want to buy mini laptop. Can it be sold for this course? Yes. Smaller. You can see we don't require much. We are not doing, it's not a game machine, just writing codes. Actually, all these codes we are writing, they are simple text editors, right? So yes, a mini laptop will serve you very well. Can we get video on SendB, sir? Okay, yeah, the video on SendB was deleted, I think. Probably seems YouTube have some issue with that. But we have, we'll share, just check on Telegram by tomorrow, please. We'll share the Zoom link for the original class so that you can use it. Yeah, check YouTube by tomorrow morning for that. So okay. Is there a resource you can recommend for JavaScript? Actually, yes, there's resource. I have some technical issue coming here to present today's own. So I'll push that. Let me push everything I have to GitHub. Then this, in a couple of hours from now, I'll also put the resources. So let me come back to GitHub. Here is, sorry, let me come back to my console. So I want to pull up my terminal. New terminal. Okay. I'll push this right now. ls. Okay. Git status. Okay. So I have to do git add. No, first I have to remove rm, remove test.js is not required. Yeah, just that one. Then I can add everything. Git add every file there. Git commit. The message is add files. So git push. Okay, so this is on the GitHub repo already. I'll also push material. I'll push a document with some references of maybe some materials or help you might require to get on with this. We need mentorship guideline more on the JavaScript too. Okay, yeah, we'll see how one more class to wrap it up. What is the meaning of AWS and pipeline? How to apply to this program? Sorry, AWS and pipeline, that's when you are doing DevOps. So we're not doing DevOps in this course, right? So everything you're doing, you're developing locally on your machine and uploading to GitHub. So we're not setting up pipelines. Let's say, okay. Okay, I think that's it. We'll call it a day today. Please, for all your announcements, you get them from the Telegram channel. Always checking every morning. If we have something going out before 6 a.m. in the morning, we've posted it in the group already. So always checking every morning on Telegram for any announcement that might be of benefit to you. So other than that, thank you guys. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. We'll start on time tomorrow. Hopefully this technical issue wouldn't be there tomorrow. So see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. I have to stop sharing now. And